in front of the fans, all watching at home with bated breath. One more time we step out. And for G2, it's been 3 more times in a row. This, their third finals point, their third championship point for KC, having fought back from 0-2 down from a 5-1 Pantheon in Game 3, from a massive disadvantage in Game 4. It feels like the gods themselves are on the side of KC.
And there's a lot of really interesting stories, specifically around the champions. So a fun fact about Caps, he's the one that really pushed and I guess introduced, I think it's a fair word, of the world to Anivia.
Yeah.
I feel like that his impact on Anivia, I mean, we know for a fact that Faker himself said that, like, I was inspired by seeing Caps play the champion. He's been playing it for a very long time. The most famous story he had about it was when he went up against Jojo at MSI all those years ago, and Jojo joked, what does this champ do? I've never seen it before.
I will say, just as a clarifier, in recent times, Caps has been the person that's introduced everyone.
Absolutely.
I don't want to forget Froggen. Froggen was the GOAT,
yes,
right?
of course,
he was the bird.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is unequivocal. I would never besmirch the legend himself. But the interesting thing about it is now here in Game 5, bringing out the Anivia, it's just something that he has a huge amount of comfort on. And in the same vein, like, when we think about Kana, a lot of people said that, like, if he's not on carries, then they can't win. And this was actually a story for them last year when they got knocked to the lower bracket. It was when he was playing things like Sion into G2 that they lost that upper bracket match. We heard from the coaches them saying, no, we can't have Kana playing these tanks. We need to have him having impact. They were a very top-focused team, but now they fully trust in his ability. They know that they can trust the rest of the team to carry, and we see the evolution of him as a player and his impact on KC.
The thing is, though, last time KC were facing G2, Kana was on tanks, it was Broken Blade who got the better of him. This time,
BB,
though,
that's not going well.
Kana kind of getting the better of him. Well, I suppose the thing is, though, for our Kled, like, now you mount up, you're still kind of okay.
Yeah, jousts forward, will get the pullback with the bear trap on a rope. Doesn't want to use a joust again to dive underneath that tower. Kind of okay and definitely okay are two different beasts, though, Dagda.
But the thing was, the point I wanted to make, is that Broken Blade set the record for the most damage ever dealt by a top laner in the LEC versus Kana when he was playing tanks. It was on the Gwen, and it absolutely destroyed Kana thanks to an early gank from Skewmon. Not going to be the case in this game, but certainly Broken Blade, okay, wanted to find answers on this Kled into Sion, and now he trusts it in a Game 5.
All right, well, Cap's going to take full advantage of his passive. I think proccing it very early on in the laning phase, definitely not a bad idea, but I'm expecting him to base soon. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, while we've been yapping away, look at the CS discrepancy that's been built up. The Kai'Sa plus Nico. Oh, hang on a minute.
BB. Decimating smash coming out. Yikes, almost there. BB flashes. Bear trap on the rope. Will get the pullback, but BB dismounts before it can. Yike now trying to trade back onto Broken Blade, but the violent tendencies means he will remount. Forces Yike away. Kana had to burn the flash. It was exchanged on the bottom lane. LeBron burnt flash and heal for just Busio's heal. Gets the root though. Hansama on the chase with the Void Seeker. First blood to the Nico.
The top lane dive though.
It shows impact. Lands onto Kana. No escape for him underneath the tower. He will fall and he can't get to the wave that quickly to really use the zombie passive.
We've been watching scraps happen across the rift, but it is G2 that walk away victorious. A good gank in the top lane from Skewmon, a 2v2 outplay in the bottom lane. G2 off to the races here in Game 5.
G2, this is exactly how you want to start this. But after seeing the last two games, still doubts, honestly, in my mind, as to how they carry forward.
Yeah, having a lead doesn't mean much based on the recent evidence. That's absolutely true.
But certainly, control for Broken Blade on top is crucial. Controlling this bot side, even better, to be honest.
Look at the lead. It's almost 1,000 gold between LeBron and Hansama combined over Kalist and Busio. You do expect the Alistair to struggle in the early game. I thought the electrocute with the passive there from Yahoo would be enough. He is absolutely pushing Caps to the very brink. Caps will back and TP back. So in the end, just grabs those items. Yep, okay, he does.
I think he really wanted to come back with a catalyst, but he doesn't quite have the gold. We'll come back to mid lane, get level 6. Now that he's got the ultimate, the laning phase should be a little bit easier for him. But yeah, I mean, with so many of the eggs on the Kalist basket, him being behind is not an ideal start for KC's laning phase. Again, though, scaling is something I think KC do have a decent amount of. The question will largely come down to how G2 execute these fights. Can they just eliminate Kalist before he can dish out any damage?
And I do think Yehu can do a decent job of kind of being that bridge to the late game as well. Like, I was going to say off of one item, kind of two. Yehu is very strong, and especially if he's able to use the lead that he's now gaining to try and lean in towards this bottom side and provide a bit of support to Kalist and Busio, I think that can be something. With Skimon having control and this level 6 about to tick over, I don't think KC can fight this.
Skimon gets this fight, Yike goes in for it, gets the smite on the Scuttlecrab, gets the 6, between worlds they go as Skimon has to flash away, Yike will fall first, but now Hansama's caught in the pit, and KC collapsed on him, and the final auto of Boomerang finds its mark and returns the gold to Kalist. A 1-for-1 in the end, the exchange.
Well, with the jungler going down, there is no hope of getting the dragon. It will just be the push, but Busio still fishing mid. LeBrov should be able to escape away with this. But now, like, look, Kalist, solo boss.
Tangle Barbs, Busio locked up in the Glacial Storm. Busio's down! How now, Brown Cow? Taken out by Caps and LeBrov.
Disrespect from Busio as Caps and LeBrov find the punish. Another kill goes over to G2. And the target selection here from KC seemed a little bit divided. They start by going on to Caps, then turn their attention onto Skewmond. Then Yehu goes through the ulti, but Kalist isn't even there yet. Skewmond healthy enough to get out of the fight. Hansama finds himself trapped, kind of wastes the flash, still losing his life off the back end. But then Busio, of course, handing another kill over after overstaying in mid.
Yeah, I think you called it there. Yehu going through that ultimate a little bit too early meant that Skewmond managed to escape. Could have been the 2-for-1. But again, Busio, mistakes on the Alistar. We were just praising him for how good he was on this pick, but sticks around too long in the mid, and now it's more trades on the top.
The biggest winner of this is Caps. The fact that this Anivia has gotten 2 kills in the early game, completes the Catalyst, already getting some early magic resistance to help with the matchup. Caps doesn't normally like to go for tier on the Anivia. Usually he goes Rod of Ages straight into Liandry's so that she can spike a little bit earlier. So the fact that he's gotten these kills accelerates this scaling mid-mage.
I won't say that Kalist is a winner off it, but he's definitely put himself back in even though, because he managed to crash a wave and boss, got the kill, and also a place. So definitely making things a little bit easier. Busio, phase rush crucial for him getting away there.
Using the heal for the extra movement speed, that gets himself out with that phase rush and the move speed, but goes in, doesn't really achieve as much as he'd like. Caps now, he's got plenty of mana, clearing out the way very easy. After being harassed down by Yehu in the early game, he can now push and move, and that's what Caps loves to do. Needs to be a bit cautious, does still have his flash, but
it's also not the best on Anivia.
Yeah, but you get into Fog of War.
I mean, that's true.
You do things like this. Clear out vision. Frostbite going to follow Yehu there for a little bit of extra damage. But unless you can see Caps.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. The threat of him just moving into the Fog of War, you're completely right, Medic.
See, what did he do there, Betty? Pushed the wave and moved.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're both moving potentially down towards this bottom side. The wave is there. Level 6 from LeBron, but it looks like they're just going to be happy to take the Dragon instead, as it will be the trade for Yike towards the Void Grubs.
Caps also grabbing those honey fruits to top up his HP, going to push another wave. Might look for a cheeky recall as well. Maybe look to pick up that blasting one to give him a little bit more damage in the 1 versus 1.
Ooh, Broken Blade looking at Yike here. 3 grubs already completed. Yike could look for the chase. Estimating smash. Pocket pistol gets him just out of range. Nature's Grass though there for the follow-up, and Broken Blade can't get back on Skull. A Bramble smash puts Broken Blade 6 feet under.
A nice punish by Yike. The way they played that was to
Busio TP behind. Hansama doesn't have the flash. We use the Ghost and the Killer Instincts, try and get out of trample range, and manages to do so.
A very slow-moving TP crosses along. Investing that early means that Caps, he's going to get more gold in the middle lane. It's a scary situation because you have to remember that while Caps has largely been quite quiet in this series, the more gold you give him, the more opportunities he has to make plays. And now, who's trapped. He's completely zoned away from the mid wave.
Yeah, but LeBron needs to be a little bit cautious, not as tanky as his Skarner skin would suggest. Still, they do keep Yehu away from the wave. LeBron now steps forward. Skewmon still just doing his jungle path. Thornmail first for Kana. Here up into Broken Blade on the Kled. as Busio is forced away. Does still have that unbreakable will, the Alistair ultimate. A huge damage reduction if so required.
It's mostly posturing from both sides at the moment, though, seeing if they can find any sort of crack in the armor. Not really too much to show from KC, but he already kind of said it. Caps opening up, but oh no!
Knocked back by Busio, flash pulverized for the follow-on. Skumon coming in, looking for the impale, lands it on 2! And he'll pull Busio back. Kalist uses the barrier. Busio almost falling. Hansama not going to flash forward, but they fall anyway! Skumon's passive getting the kill on the cow. Kalist goes down 2.
The idea was to punish the flank from the Brov, but Kalist actually flashes in to try and get that kill onto the Nico, heavily committing onto that play. Busio sees the flank, nice engage, good flash follow-up, but then watch Kalist, he flashes in, the auto doesn't finish off the Brov, gets double ulted by Skumon, and then Hans and Skew clean up the kills.
Yeah. Don't know what happened to the spell shield in that one, though, because I don't know if they used it just before, or if it maybe the timing on the W was right from Skumon, but I'm surprised that the spell shield from Kalist didn't go through.
It didn't for KC. Not quite sure, Rob. But for G2, dividends after dividends after dividends. An 800 gold lead now for your AD carry. Skumon a little bit behind in gold himself, a camp back, but still 2-0-2 now on this. Skarner has the Heartsteel completed. Yike with the Leandri's first strike here on the Maokai. Looking for those saplings to do a bit of work. Caps does still have the Flash Glacial Storm for the slow. Bramble Smash for the knockback. Between worlds we go. The Nature's Grasp comes out from Yike and doesn't find its mark on the Anivia.
Nice attempt to try and make something happen in mid, but unable to convert. So KC set their eyes moving towards that top side and try and get some vision into Skumon's jungle to spot out what he's up to.
Caps going to go back to base. They do get the flash out from the Anivia. A bunch of flashes are now unavailable as it's Hansama who's first to complete his role quest. 1-1 and 3 on the Kai'Sa, a 1k gold lead for him. In the previous game, it was his Yunara that got caught by the feathers of Kalist. He's really going to have a strong performance today because, I mean, Kai'Sa in this position, it's a scary champion to play. All these tanks, all this CC that's on the other side, if you ult too early, then that could put you in a very dangerous spot. If you ult too late, then maybe you don't follow up from the engage that Labrov is trying to set up for you. Ticks over to level 9 as he now makes his way up towards top lane.
KC are trying desperately to get Kalist out of this matchup against Hansama, though. They sent him top, Hansama shows on top wave, and immediately kind of resets so they can match Kled against Kalist. G2 can use this to just get some turret plates, though, and continue to open up this lead for Hansama.
Unstoppable onslaught. Skumon's going to get in the way of it. Becomes a relatively stoppable onslaught. The Pop Blossom there for the follow-up. Still no flash here for Kana as he's pulled back with the Impale. The flash a couple of seconds away, but a couple of seconds might as well be an absolute age. G2 find another as Hansama will take some plates as well.
A nice gank setup. As he's trying to return to the lane, they have the numbers on the top side, and they secure an easy punish. G2 find themselves once again with a monstrous gold lead. 13.5 minutes in, 3k the advantage, 7-2 the kill score. G2 looking dominant, but the problem is, we know for a fact that KC is not out until that Nexus falls. 2 games in a row, they've bounced back from deficits. They'll be the first on the Dragon, and I don't think G2 have the tools to contest.
And no Impale, no Pop Blossom. Will be a greedy contest at best. Skumon is looking, poking his head in. Labrov doing the same. Skumon, though, needs to be cautious. Hansama on his way across does have the killer instinct. Drake down, secured by KC. The Shape Splitter clone will spot out. Well, there's a couple of saplings in that bush, not much more.
But with KC having to enter towards that mid lane, it does mean Caps is able to get some damage on the bot side. Clearing waves, Yehu trying to get access to the turret.
Will be able to get underneath it. Busio dodges the Tangle Barbs well. Caps will tank a tower shot, but the Flash Frost means Yehu couldn't go any further in. BB moving from the top side after proxying a wave. Was looking to see if Kalist had overstepped. I think the crowd here wants a little bit more action than they're getting. As Yahoo is looking for Caps, goes in between worlds, still has the egg. Busio there with the knock-up, headbutt first, alongside the pulverize. LeBron trying to trade it. The TP was cancelled in the top side by BB, and now Busio has overstepped a little. Pop Blossom in, Busio tries to dodge it. Uses the unbreakable will, but that is damn well broken. G2 find another.
Every single play that KC tried to make just gets shut down. The good news for KC is Yike is trying to cross map on the other side, but now Yahoo isolated on the bot side of the map. Skewmont cutting off his escape. The bot wave is being pushed. He's trying to TP out.
He's trying to TP out. You can't do that in front of a Tangle Barbs. Goes across the veil, invisible underneath the tower. Puts the damage back onto Skewmont, but with Hansama on his way as well, G2 will just clean up the kill.
Yahoo tried his hardest to escape away, but all he ends up giving is an assist across the Hansama. Riptar will be taking the interrupt on Skewmont, but can you really get much more?
Busio maybe thinking he can stop Caps from getting the push in here, but if it was a bit greedy, maybe just trying to distract because they're going to try and dive BB in that top lane. Nature's Grasp out on top of one sort as well for the CC. He remounts onto Skull, and now the dive becomes a little bit more precarious. BB with the pocket pistol, still Yike able to secure the kill, and the TP coming out from Caps after he reset just to hold this lane. The tower in the bot side will be picked up first for G2.
I mean, on the one hand, yes, it's nice for KC that they got a pick, but getting picks onto Broken Blade just really doesn't mean anything. You need gold onto Kalist, you need gold onto Yahoo, and right now, they just don't have it. A 1.4k gold lead for Caps, a 1.4k gold lead for Hansama. 2 items now completed for the Kaiser. Caps quickly working on his second. G2 in a dominant performance. Once again, KC will have to find another miracle to turn this game around.
In draft, we were doubting whether the Nico first pick was worth it. Lebrov is now 2-0-4 on this Nico. Has been involved in 66% of his team's kills. And we praise the Alistar for Busio, but he is having a mare. This is not the Alistar that we so often see from him. He's been caught out, he's been trying to make plays, but sometimes too proactively, too eager to go in. Not willing enough to take a second.
He's trying to get some vision down in that G2 bottom side. Maybe a TP play, maybe just a spot what G2 are up to. Kalist taking damage as the tower mid seems to be what G2 are eyeing up next.
The thing for KC is they do have good wave clear. A weirding and a 2-fold hex from Yahoo, enough to clear out most waves right now. The ricochet from Kalist will do the same. The problem for them is G2 can kind of run the map. It will only be second Dragon of the game, this Infernal up in 90 seconds time for either team. Whoever is able to claim it. Busio here. Well, that's a bear trap on a rope, but it's cow trap it seems. Lands a knockback onto Broken Blade. He'll charge away towards the top side, but dismounted now. Flashes in, is met by an axe from Kana. And just as I said, Busio wasn't having the best of times. He finds Broken Blade, who remounts again. Skull not so cowardly now. In the end, they'll find him, they'll chase him down for the CC, and Yike goes on a killing spree. Meanwhile, Busio again finds a knock-up, here this time onto Lebrov, who's stunned up, will shape splitter his way away. And KC won't take any more of that fight.
You just talked about Busio having a bit of a nightmare. That looked like a nightmare for Broken Blade. Everywhere he ran to was members of KC. And while they only get the 1 kill and it took a while, they still get to hold on to everything. KC just with a pick.
I mean, had that top tower already fallen? Because it looked to me like Caps actually secured the top tier 1 there.
I think it was.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong there, yeah.
I think it was then, Betty.
So, I mean, that's what I mean, because I'm looking at that gold and it just continues to go up for G2. And the other thing that was really scary about that was, to me, it seemed like they wanted to give that gold to Kalist desperately. Yeah. They wanted to feed it to him. Broken Blade remounts. They then get Sivir in range, and then the Leandri's burn ends up securing the kill anyway.
It's a full battle tree, man. Leandri's Bloodletter's Curse. This guy's like, we need more damage right now, and I can give that to us.
Well, he's going to try his best as the Dragon is going to go over to G2. KC's not in a position to contest. They've lost all of their outer towers. G2 in such a commanding position once more. And again, I set my sights on Kalist. He's going to have to be that late game insurance. KC need to slow the game down once more. They need to buy time to get to those late game items, to get to a point where they can fight on even footing. Because the way things are going, G2 is just picking KC apart.
Flash Frost and the Frostbite landing there with a good crystallized wall. Caps playing the blue wall champ against KC in game 5 has a certain ring to it, doesn't it? We'll see what he can do with that crystallized Baron now on the map, but neither team likely to go for it soon. 2 items on Kalist. It's an AP hybrid here for Hans Summer. So he's got the Kraken Slayer, the Ginsus, and a Blasting Wand.
There are 3 Anivias on my mini-map medic. Stressing me out.
Never look at the mini-map, Benny. It's the play-by-play mentality.
Caps really wants to get level 14. Oh,
from Yike.
perfect timing for Caps. Look at that. Gets level 14, takes over to the Rod of Ages, straight to level 15. Flat 2-level difference now between the 2 mid laners.
Absolutely huge.
And it just feels tough for KC in this spot once again. This time around, they're not having that same level of control over the jungle. You see Busio again kind of hiding in these different places, just hoping he maybe G2 overextend, but Broken Blade isn't giving it the chance.
This is not the Rift Elves you want to be. I'm sorry, Shelly, you deserved more. Taken out, can't even hit a minion. And Yike, unable to find a way in really to place it.
I think the only saving grace for KC is that the siege from G2 isn't really that great. Like, Caps obviously pushes waves well, but you're relatively short range, and Kalist has great wave clear himself. So at the moment, KC can kind of stall out. And with only 2 dragons for G2, maybe it buys them enough time to try and get towards that later portion of the game. With Kalist being 1.7k goal behind, that feels like a far-off dream.
Yeah, I think G2 just need to be more comfortable with forcing Baron. I think they need to sit there and say to themselves, we're way stronger, we know we should force, and let's put KC into a situation that they don't want to be in. Because if they slow this game down too much, you will give Kalist the opportunity to get that Infinity Edge completed. KC are looking for time, and G2, they need to play under the assumption that they cannot give it to them.
Is it just a Baron play? Nope, there's a control ward in there. TP immediately, it seems like it is. Kana has teleport, he's down towards the bottom side. Yike spotted around his blue buff, and Broken Blade's gonna try and keep him at bay. Yike trying to get in there, pulled back with the bear trap on the rope. Kana TPing in now, Busio there as well. The Shade Splitter spotted Yahoo, but the Baron already secured. G2 sneak it away. KC unable to find anything, and Unstoppable Onslaught out from Kana. The charge from Broken Blade gets him to safety.
Kana just trying to see if you could get the top laner, but G2, great call. Vedi, you already mentioned it. Immediately take the Baron, immediate TP to top lane. They want to get full use out of this Baron buff.
Yeah, I think you have to, because as they recognize the same thing you did, Dagda, which is that their siege isn't very good, and there's a lot of wave clear thanks to this Sivir. So you kind of need Baron to push onto these towers, and you can't just wait around. With this kind of gold, you've got to push the issue, and they did just that. KC holding the defense.
Yike looking for the Nature's Grasp. Busio goes in onto Caps. The Impale not going to connect too much as Busio still tanky enough. Skewmon falls first. Yahoo gets him. Hans Summer's next up. That goes to Kalist. And now Caps, you got an egg, but you're likely to be scrambled pretty sharpish because Yike is on the flank. The Samurai Siege was broken against the blue wall of KC. There's an egg. Crack it in twain. KC finds 3.
It cannot be happening again! G2! What is going on?
KC are able to find another fight. The Baron becomes meaningless. The Goldleys disappear. Kalist, look at that scoreline now. 3-1-2. KC may very well have done it for a 3rd time in a row. What a way to come back. A single fight against the Baron. G2 get that mid-tier 2, but that's all they get off the back of this fight.
And a lot of it was just a great angle for the ultimate off of Yike. Moving through the jungle, catching onto several people. Busio immediately diving on towards Caps. But it's the fact that Hans Sama walks forward into Kana's decimating smash because of Yike's ultimate.
I mean, it's 3v5. It's 3v5 the whole time. The Rock can't get in. BB's in the mid lane. Like, we talked about G2's proactivity taking the Baron. KC saw exactly the same type of window and immediately jump in.
A lot of credit needs to go to Busio for that play. Not wasting any time, flashing in onto the Anivia, and the fact that they leverage their numbers advantage. Yike's ulti doing a huge amount of work. Well played there by KC. We've got an interesting game 5 on our hands.
And it's 3 items now onto Kalist. Dragon number 3 potentially here for G2, but KC want to try and stop it.
Caps' lead has shrunk. And KC now stepping forward. Nature's Grasp. Skewmon tanks it up. So does BB. Hans Summer looking to get in towards the front line. LeBron goes in, Hansama dives onto Yike. There's the Pop Blossom. It finds 3! Hansama trying to get across the Decimating Smash. Kalist goes down. Hansama gets a double. Hansama will fall for it, as will LeBron. Not quite. The Istar's impact locks Yahoo against the wall. And Yikes, Busio tries to get in. He can't. G2 fight back again. Only Kana's left alive now.
This time round, G2 will not let KC get away with it. LeBron with a monster ultimate. The target was firmly on Kalist's head, and Hansama was quick to shut him down. G2 fight back, and they will secure the dragon.
It looked like KC may have just found the angle again at the start of that fight. Kalist spell shields the Impale from Skewmond, and Yike positions himself well here to lock up parts of the front line, like Broken Blade and Caps get locked down here, but he gets separated by a great wall from Caps, so he can be focused down by Hansama. And Kalist then, with no spell shield, is immediately locked down. Hansama follows up to kill him off. And G2 with blinking health bars, they get away with this.
Busio does everything in his power to keep Lebrov out of the fight, but Lebrov just flashes Rocket Belt into the ulti. Beautifully done by Lebrov. The gold lead is back in G2's hands, but the game is kind of neutralized. Kalist is still a threat. I don't think this game is over just yet. These fights are going to continue to be intense. The battle between the AD carries has only gotten more fierce.
The benefit of Lebrov not being in the top lane fight was that he had his summoners. He had his spells. He could use them to get onto that backline. The gold lead now 4.5k for G2. They are 3.5 minutes away from an Infernal Soul. But KC have shown us they can fight back from this. That tree still very squishy. Only the Leandries and the Bloodletters now building up some resistances and health. But Yike will melt if met by Hansama, who has Dusk and Dawn, Ginsu's Kraken Slayer. Kalist, on the other hand, building up towards that Lord Dominic's regards, you have to think. He will shred people, Rob.
Having that Zonya's working its way there for Hansama is so crucial as well. He can play hyper-aggressive in these fights and still have that safety net. If he picks off Kalist, that's a very worthwhile trade for that Seeker's Arm Guard.
Abyssal Mask as well for Skewmond means that Caps' damage will be amplified, as will Hansama's. LeBron was acting as a minion, couldn't find the engage. Busio looking for one of his own, has the flash, no vision though for KC around this Baron, which is up in 30 seconds time.
Look at the side lanes. I mean, bot wave being pushed very deep by Broken Blade. He's got a full level over Kana now, a healthy gold lead as well. Someone has to recall and go and answer that wave. It's going to be Kana for now. Yahoo trying his best to catch up to Caps, but the goal difference is pretty significant. Shadow Flame being worked on, but it's still ways away.
This is where Yike comes in handy. You can check all these brushes with the saplings and make sure they try to go through, but Yike's
there's a crystallized Flash Frost. You can check the bush, but you can't check the Razor being picked. A charge in from Broken Blade as G2 are trying to close them out of the game right here, right now. The Bear Trap on the rope will pull back the Aurora, but she manages to escape. Kana TP'd in, was caught up in the Pop Blossom, but he just walks out too. Jungler down though for KC means G2 should set their eyes on the Baron.
Broken Blade can TP back in and he'll be fine. Just the pick you needed. Yike doesn't spot Caps and Caps punishes.
A big pick from G2. Caps punishing his former jungler, and it will result in the Baron once more for G2. We look back and the vision toggle. He thinks he's safe. He thinks he can step up, but no, he cannot. The wall comes down. His avenue of escape is cut off. And then G2 go on the offensive. They're forcing the ultis. They're forcing the retreat. The flash from Busio. The HP from Yahoo. He doesn't have any. KC can do nothing to contest the Baron. And G2 now find themselves with the Baron once more. And a championship once again in their eyes.
And it's so easy to play from this position. Use the Baron buff to push in the waves. Soul in just over a minute's time. KC are hoping for a miracle. One misstep from G2 where maybe they can slow down what seems like an inevitable course towards a G2 trophy lift.
Yahoo pushing out the top wave. TP coming behind. G2 want to collapse. They know KC expect them to be on the bottom side. Yehu with the weirding, dodging back. Ishtal's impact going wide, but there's the Flash Frost, and that is a very dead Aurora. G2 find one on the top side. KC were only playing around that bot side river.
I mean, KC can't be making mistakes like this. You have to feel that the pressure's getting to them. The lack of focus there from Yehu. Such an easy pick for G2 with the Baron buff. Now they can stop pushing through 2 lanes. They don't care about the bot lane. They're going back to the tower that almost resulted in their downfall.
Yike hasn't reset. They're hoping that G2 will stay thin and they can try and look for a play in the midway, but there's the pings.
G2 playing through 2 lanes, have another Baron buff up minion wave here. Yike still looking for the Nature's Grasp. Caps moving across, Kana going forward, Skumon locked up, Nature's Grasp doesn't hit onto anyone, and Broken Blade is diving the backline. Kalist has to use the barrier. Manages to escape for now. G2 didn't take the top inhib tower, but did take the mid. Infernal Soul, their next objective.
G2 want to go foraging first, though, see if they can find Yike. He's running for the hills, but G2 are able to move through walls.
Yike has the flash. Ishtal's impact, Killer Instinct forward, the Impale immediately. And Yike has no way to escape. Timber goes the tree, and perhaps with it, KC's hopes of winning this finals.
KC fought back valiantly in Game 3. They were able to make the comeback happen in Game 4, but G2 is snuffing their light out in Game 5. A soul secured, a nearly 8k gold lead. KC's options are desperately running out, and they will need a miracle to turn this game around.
For G2, it is a story they have told many times before. Another finals, another G2 win. This one more hard fought than most. But they are setting their sights on the next. They're setting their sights on first stand. It's KC who took that spot last year. And G2 will have their vengeance. There's the crystallized. Busio has to use the unbreakable will and still almost dies. Nature's Grasp coming out. Busio will survive the grasp. They line up. TP behind. Unstoppable Onslaught is going to land, but only onto Skumon. Between worlds we go. As KC, one final roll of the dice. Broken Blade, though, diving through them. Still survives. G2 escape relatively unscathed. Caps has TP. He went back to base.
Broken Blade is just such a massive threat every time onto Kalist that KC can't follow up on these engages. They have to retreat, and it's low health bars on G2 that are escaping back to base.
I love the idea from Kana. He was able to help with the base defense, and KC buy themselves a little bit more time. They'll look to secure this mid tower, get themselves a bit of gold, and maybe get this Civet one extra item. Will it be enough to save the game? It seems doubtful. But KC will use everything in their power to take every chance that they've got to stay alive in this final game.
And importantly for KC, they've held onto their inhibs. There are none of these super minion waves coming in, crashing towards their Nexus. We've got 1 minute and 50 seconds on the next Baron.
That's what I was going to say. How long does that last? It's an exposed inhibitor in the mid lane. G2 can group and start to push that one down. And unless KC can try and find multiple angles of attack, it feels like once again they kind of get to bulldoze their way through with the gold lead that they have.
So, a 7,000 gold lead for G2. A larger deficit for KC than we have seen them overcome in this series. An Infernal Soul. For KC, a GA now complete on Kalist, but if he comes back from the dead, if his team's dead around him, does it even matter? If that GA is popped and everyone else dies, it doesn't really matter that you have a few more seconds of life. G2 will snuff them out. Kana finishes the Jack shows. On the other side, BB Overlords, Black Cleaver, and the Titanic Hydra. 4 items on Skumon. Caps at 4, Hansama at 5 with the Void Staff. Ooh. The wall doesn't catch out Kana this time. Busio looking for that flank position. Broken Blade still pushing in bot. That needs to be answered if you're KC.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to take this tower if you leave him alone with it.
I mean,
there he goes, it's gone. Going to happily pick up that gold.
And a dead
G2
tower.
keeping up the pressure, waiting for the Baron to spawn. I don't know if they even need Hansama there. I think Caps and Skumon, maybe without the blue buff, it's a little bit difficult.
GT know that KC have to take risks in this position. That's why they're playing slow, just letting Broken Blade do the work. As long as they don't get caught separated, Broken Blade can always make it over. And now it's KC who might be overextended on midway.
Yeah, they're playing without any vision. Look at the damage coming out from those Void Seekers. Lebrov on the flank, on the Nico. Crystallized down, Busio. Mikhail's away. Lebrov's still waiting.
Patience from Lebrov. I'm shocked he hasn't engaged yet. He's actually going to back away from that flank. The damage on the Yike is good.
He uses the stopwatch, but he can't get over the wall. Has to use his flash. Flash in from Kana with the unstoppable onslaught. Nature's Grass coming out as well. Summer blocked up there by Skuma on the counter crystallize. Good knockback on the Pop Blossom, but Kalist has to flash himself. TP coming in from Broken Blade. Busio trying to get in the middle of three. Summer dives in. There's the GA. An Angel perhaps as Summer will fall. Kalist is back up. KC are holding on. KC are holding on. Kalist survives. G2 all die. Now it's all on Caps. He has the egg. He flashes away from the twofold Hex and still finds one. Skumont manages to escape towards the top side of the fight. A 3 for 3 somehow in the mid lane.
Unbelievable! The fact that the GA brings Kalist back and really does put an Angel on his shoulders. The entire KC squad collapse around him to keep him alive. G2 just cannot find a clean fight.
In a game like this, seconds feels like years. Yikes, stopwatches for 2.5 and manages to flash away. Lebrov can't get into position. And Yike is able to buy space for Kalist. They turn on towards Caps. Kalist gets away from the Lebrov because of the knockback.
And look at the flashing from Lebrov. Locks down Kalist. Summer sees at an angle, but now he's too deep. Yehu finally joins the fight, gets the one shot onto Summer, and with him gone, the amount of damage that they have is slowly starting to whittle away.
The Titanic Hydra doing so much work from Broken Blade there across 3 members, which sends them packing, and Caps matches the play on his counter mid lane and holds on. And now a Baron up, Elder Dragon up. We go back to the scene of the crime.
I didn't hear no bell. We'll go another round, my boys. Let's see who lands the haymaker.
The cooldowns are there for G2 though. A GA significantly longer than Azanya's Hourglass. G2 looking to make the same thing happen again.
Busio force low, crystallized double stun from Busio. There's the Nature's Grass as they look for the on the hunt engage. They go on Skumon, the double onslaught finds the backline. It's Anivia, Pop Blossom lands onto Busio. Summer kills Kana. Meanwhile on the backline, Kalist still standing. A killer instinct from Summer and an instinct to kill it seems. But now Summer locked up by Yike and Yehu, and Caps and Lebrov need to run.
It's another 3 for 3. I thought that G2 would won that fight once they got the kill onto Kalist, but it wasn't enough. The Elder is alive, KC have the HPs, but Caps has TP. He's gonna go back to base, TP back into the fight. They're not giving this one up for free.
Double Zanya is available on Yike and Yehu. Caps needs to make a miracle happen.
Loses his Banshees as he gets met by a sapling. Lebrov on his way out. Yike there on the wrong side of the crystallized Glacial Storm doing a lot of work. Caps dodging away from the weirding. Yike forced towards the top side, twofold Hex. Lebrov looking for it. Goes on to Yike who uses the Twisted Advance to dodge the CC. Caps in egg. Now it's all on Lebrov. The dragon down to 2,000. Yike gets the smite. Caps is revived. Will take out Yike. Caps trying to trade onto Yahoo. Dodges the weirding. Dodges the weirding. That's the route. G2. A double stopwatch. A Pop Blossom. G2 and Caps find the fight.
They lose the Elder, but they will get the kills. Look at the start of this fight. The poke from Summer was so good. Busio finds the double knock up onto the front line. Kalist pops the ult. Then the damage really starts to be unleashed from this Sivir. Lebrov finds a good ulti, but then on the back line, Summer finds the angle. He gets onto Kalist. He takes out Busio, but the damage has already been done. With Yehu still alive, he's able to take out Hans, and we return to live with a Baron being secured for G2.
And they're in the base. They're at the inhibitors. There is no inhibitor turrets remaining. G2 get to play with their food as they stand on the cusp of winning the series.
Yehu up in 9. The countdown continues. Busio looking for the engage. No flash on Kalist. No escape tool for him, no flashes. for most of G2. Broken Blade dodges away. Double inhibs down. Yeah, who's going to match this bot side wave and clear it out?
My goodness. With the lead that G2 had, I was not expecting this to be the outcome of this
game 3 and game 4 as well, Reddy.
That's true. That's bloody true. Let's look back at this Elder.
It was absolutely insane. The double stopwatch is coming through at this stage. KC just make the call, burn the Elder, kill it, we can win the fight after. But as Caps comes up, he picks off Yike. And then Yehu doesn't manage to hit the E, doesn't get between worlds. Tries to go golden, but LeBron's Pop Blossom is back up, and it's the perfect timing. They finish off the mid jungle at KC.
Crazy to think a few other skill shots going differently could have been the difference maker in that fight.
Is full build severe enough? The list now has his flashback up. That is a true 6 items.
GA as well, back off of cooldown.
I mean, the 500 CS win condition Sivir, we're not quite there yet. 17 more CS.
I think full build counts, Betty. I think it counts, and KC will be hoping that it does. BB towards the top side being met by Yahoo. KC now need to defend 3 lanes at once. Supers crashing it towards their nexus, knocking on their door. G2, they've been here before. They know how to do it. KC trying to defend. Nature's Grass coming out.
Caps.
Root only lands on the Shape Splitter. Skewmon dodges around to the side, but BB's on the Nexus. Opens it up. Hunt Summer goes in with a Killer Instinct, and now there's no turrets remaining for Carmine. Caught bear trap on the road from BB. Will pull Kana to the side. Busio looking for the trample, but he just can't get in. The crystallized down. The Nexus still full HP. The G2 are poking and prodding and trying to find a weakness in KC. Yike has taken a chunk. Another as he falls to half AP. The dive in and Hunt Summer is killed. No instinct to kill. No Zhonya's. No time. G2 now, will you continue to advance in a 4v5 or do you just back away? BB gets out and G2 have to retreat.
Yehu actually saves the game. He just one-shots Hunt Summer, and now G2 is forced to retreat. Kalista is just wave clearing. How does Yehu find it? Goes invisible. Oh my god, gets the Q, gets the ult, gets the one shot, and is able to get away to safety.
And we said it at the start of this game, Hansama had to be so crucial and thoughtful with how he used those killer instincts. He didn't get the value in that fight, and Yehu punishes, but still, every single tower is down for KC. They can't leave their base right now.
Nexus Towers will respawn.
What a game 5. What a game 5.
When we were 2-0, I'm pretty sure some people left the arena. I'm pretty sure they peaced out.
But the good news is they had time to go.
Oh, well, the goal just doesn't matter anymore. We are so late into the game. It all comes down to execution. And we talk, like, for anyone that's been a League fan for this long, knows that the 500 CS win condition was an old school meme because her ability to just wave clear and wave clear and wave clear was so difficult to deal with. And G2 is facing that here today. They are short range. They don't have the easiest engage. And Kalista's buying them time while KC's players look for plays.
You've level 16 hit on both supports. We are so late into this. But with Elder Dragon in 50 seconds, that has to be the focus. With little to no vision being allowed outside of the base for KC, these fights become so difficult. Checking anywhere towards this objective into those Anivia walls can be death for KC.
And if you give up the Elder, you give up the Baron. You have to feel. Also, if you leave your base, maybe you just give up your base. A charge in from Broken Blade, a ward placed.
Death cap finally done for Yehu.
Yehu now full build, matching Caps in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, now we're at the pot stage. You can see everyone with pots.
Yeah.
Hansama going for the AP pot as well, relying a lot on his poke.
Okay, remember 49 minutes ago when I said take a breath? Let's take a very quick one right now.
Okay, Medic, you shut up. We'll give you time. Get ready, because you're going to need all of the oxygen in your body as we get close to that final fight. KC is approaching the Dragon. Yike going to be the face checker. There's Caps. The immediate Zhonya's.
Nature's Grass coming out. Yike's got a flash.
But BB's in the base. This is what you were talking about.
Oh,
KC
is in the
they're
base.
caught between two different areas, and now he's just going for the inhibitors.
Retreating. KC are retreating. It's like, can we catch Broken Blade? He immediately backs away. That's Elder to G2. 20 seconds on the Baron means it will be 2 for the price of 1.
All right, Elder Dragon secured. The countdown starts at the top left of your screen. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. G2, will they wait for the Baron? It looks like that's the game plan. They want every buff that they can get to try and close out this game.
I mean, but what do you do if you're KC? You give this over, the game is done. You have to fight against an Elder. Sure, Nexus Towers have respawned, but they're going to be at half HP, and you've
BB's
got
not
so
showing
many
bot yet.
super creeps in the bot lane.
Yeah, BB wasn't showing. It looks like KC are going to put some resources into making sure they can defend against him. G2 will get the Baron.
Okay, well, gentlemen, what do you believe is greater? Sivir defending a base, or an Elder Baron soul-empowered G2?
I'm like, come on. Come on.
I thought that the last time they were sieging Medic.
That is true. They didn't have Elder Baron, and this time they do. Inhibitors respawning.
They're being so cautious. Look at how much time they're waiting. They need the waves to sync up. Top is pushed in. Bot is pushed in. Busio.
Busio looking for him. Skimon flashes away. On the hunt was popped there by Kalista. Now KC need to get up towards this top side. Nature's Grasp out from Yike. Kana going in. Camp spots the stopwatch between worlds. Yike immediately evaporated. Pop Blossom from above. Lands a two-man.
BB's in the base.
Busio dives back in. BB's on the Nexus Towers. And the walls come tumbling and down. The blue wall fell by the siege of the Samurai. G2 win LEC.